Man, Datacrons can be freaking wild. What is going on, YouTube? We are going to take a look at some of the best Datacrons that I've had so far from this latest Datacron set. We'll be taking out GLs, we'll be taking out some top tier teams. Let's take a look. Now, I don't have loads and loads of Datacrons just yet. I'm sort of building my way up through this. Want to get a couple of these focused Datacrons to really see what they can do, and I'm pretty impressed so far. Boba Fett, Scion of Jango, we're taking a look today. We're taking a look at Dr. Aphra, and we're also going to be taking a look at Mon Mothma over here. She has got a pretty damn tasty Datacron. Nothing we haven't seen in the past, but worth remembering and picking up, because this will be useful in stuff like Territory Wars. This will be useful in stuff like TW and in GAC coming up real soon. All right. First of all, I want to say a thank out to Luke. Luke sent me some footage of Dad Bod Boba. I do have his own Datacron here, but I've got nothing in my squad arena I can test against. So let's see what teams he's beating. So firstly, we're going to be using the Dad Bod Boba Datacron. Let's just get an idea of what does this Datacron actually do. Focus Datacron, static stats, guys. We're not going to get a mix and match here. It's just all preset. You cannot get any RNG in this. So the level 3 over here, Dark Side uses a special ability. We're going to get health evasion up, health steal up, and health up. It's okay. It's not great, it's decent, you know, whatever, we'll take it. We get some good crit chance and crit damage. Bounty Hunter characters are all going to start with grit, which is great. Essentially, you take all of your max protection, throw it into health, you get a big pool of max health essentially, but you become immune to percentile health effects, which is great. Not immune to them, you take reduced damage. So things like life drain don't really work. No, life drain does work, sorry. Things like dots, things like thermal detonators, exposes, they do very little damage to you now, which is really useful. The level 9 Bounty Hunter characters, whenever an enemy is defeated, we're going to gain Bounty Hunter's Resolve. This is a really cool mechanic. So basically, we kill someone, we get an extra life almost. Really useful against teams like Reva. Great for longevity. The level 12 is for Fennec Shand. Whenever she uses a basic ability, she's going to call a random bounty hunter ally to assist. It's not all it does, but basically, when you're doing this at the level 15, you're only going to be running Dad Bod Boba and Fennec Shand. They're going to be undermanning, so it's always calling in Dad Bod Boba. At the start of her turn, she's going to get a stack of Loyal Hand. This caps out at 20 stacks, and that cannot be dispelled, essentially. If Scion of Jango is in the leader slot, Fennec is also going to gain a stack of Loyal Hand whenever he takes a turn, and he benefits from Loyal Hand as well. So what are the bonuses of Loyal Hand? We actually see Loyal Hand on Mara Jade, Hand of the Emperor, you know what I'm saying? This bonus is actually really cool. It gives you 10% max protection, which is useless to us, but 10% additional offense, and this team has got a lot of offense, trust me on that. So stacking up to 20, you could gain an additional 200% offense for both Fennec and Boba Fett if you have enough turns. The longer the battle goes on, the harder we are hitting. Getting up to the level 15 now, we're taking a look at Boba Fett's Scion of Jango. Essentially, if he does not have 10 stacks of momentum or more, he's going to have 100% additional speed. That means if you've got him at like 250, he's 500 speed. If you've got him at 300 speed, he's 600 speed. Absolutely wild. Really helps him get out of the gate quickly. At the start of the encounter, Boba Fett's Scion of Jango is going to gain 3 stacks of Beskar armor. If you don't know what that does, it essentially makes us immune to critical hits, lets us heal some protection, though that's not really coming into play here because he won't have any protection, and it gives him 100% counter chance. It is really freaking good. All enemies are also inflicted with target lock until the end of the encounter, and they cannot get rid of it. It's amazing. He also ignores protection when he attacks. This is so useful. All that stacking offense, all that additional damage, the armor penetration, the crit chance, the immune to critical hits. He's going to be attacking under protection, which means things like Nest will never be an issue. Things like Queen Amidala are going to be really an issue. We've got another separate part of this which states if you are going into battle and you've only got one ally, and that ally is Fennec Shand, and there's no Lord Vader basically as an enemy character, there are some additional bonuses. Check this out. He's active. All allies, so him and Fennec Shand, are going to gain 75% additional max health and offense. They've got immunity to instant defeats. They've got immunity to ability block, immunity to daze, immunity to heal immunity, immunity to shock and stun and turn meter reduction. all of that, like, you can't insta-kill this guy. It's great. Or Fennec Shand, and they've got boatloads of additional stats, loads of really good immunities. Whenever he gains a stack of momentum, Fennec is also going to gain 5% turn meter, and the start of his first turn, he's going to dispel foresight from all enemies and make them immune to foresight for the rest of the encounter. Isn't that wonderful? Fennec also has 10 or more stacks of Loyal Hand. She's going to inflict Death Mark for 2 turns, which cannot be resisted if she uses a basic. So if you do happen to get up to a total of 10 turns between Scion of Jango and Fennec Shand, every time she uses a basic, she's putting Death Mark out. It's kind of crazy. So first of all, we're going up against a Great Mothers team here. Now, this isn't a Great Mothers team. You know, we've only seen like a couple of relic levels. There's only one Zeta. It's got 2 of the zombie bros over there, and we can see we're rocking that Boba Fett Scion of Jango thing. So starting out, it looks like you're going to be using that second special with Boba Fett a lot, because it is going to be triggering lots of momentum, which is going to be triggering a lot of turn meter on Fennec Shand and a lot of damage immediately. Just take out the Spirit, like, just almost turn 1. Look how much damage Boba Fett Scion of Jango did there. Nearly defeated the enemy Morgan Elsbeth with a basic because he's attacking under protection like this. Fennec still chilling in there. Looks like she's got 4 stacks of Loyal Hand already. Fennec, you're going to be basicing immediately. Great Mothers is gone. It's kind of wild. Like I said, these are lower relics, so you can expect them to not be as tanky, but this is going to be conversely sort of proportionate with how much you invest into your Boba Fett Scion of Jango as well. So the better you're modding, the better off you're going to be. And immediate damage is just getting absolute 200,000 there on a basic. That was a counter attack. Absolutely wild. Next up, let's see how he gets on against a Queen Amidala team over here. It's not a typical Queen Amidala team. He's got Kiadi-Mundi here, but this is still a Relic 9 Queenie and GMY in there as well. Now, we don't care about Foresight, because we're going to dispel it and make it, immune to be reapplied. I think there's a visual bug with this, because that foresight stays there, but you never miss anyway. Never miss anyway. So, like I said, with Fennec, all you're going to be doing is basicking, because that's going to call in Boba Fett Scion of Jango, R9 Padawan Obi-Wan. They're nearly taken out immediately once again. And with Boba Fett, you're mostly going to be using that second special to generate lots and lots of turn meter. As you can see, it does really solid damage as well. This team is no joke, man. They've got a lot of stats in this team, a lot of bulk, a lot of survivability, and they've got 5 to R2 men. Even if you lose one of your units, if you defeat a unit, you're going to be regaining... Sorry, if somebody defeats your Fennec Shand, you're going to regain Bounty Hunter's Resolve if you kill a unit. So you're going to revive once anyway. It's kind of useful. It gives you a really nice survivability, and you're just absolutely tearing through these guys right now. Padawan Obi-Wan fell, GMY fell, Cam fell really, really quickly. And we're just able to ramp up our offense quickly. Look, we've got 9 stacks of Loyal Hand right now. So I'm assuming if we get to 10 stacks, which we've done just now, huge hit from Boba Fett. Booyah, Death Mark on Master Qui-Gon Jinn. This is going to be a great Datacron. Obviously, not something you set on defense. This is to have offense fun. I don't know why we went after the Handmaiden's Decoy instead of just taking out Master Qui-Gon Jinn, but who cares? It's all good business. Once again, if you just basic, boom, there's the Death Mark, absolutely wrecked. Now, this last one is against Reva, and this was a very hairy match. And in fact, I'm actually going to increase the playback speed here, because this is a long match as well. So I find it surprising that we can actually deal with Reva here. Now, in GAC, I don't think this will work, to be honest, because if Reva's got her Omicrons, she's going to be applying Death Mark to your team. You're not going to revive, you're just going to get absolutely shreked. So I wouldn't necessarily try this in GAC, but in other game modes, potentially it does have some viability. You can see it gets really hairy. We lose Fennec relatively quickly, and then Boba Fett, Scion of Jango, he basically Uno reverses the whole team, which is kind of wild, to be honest. Taking out one unit after another, counterattacks half the time, just taking out units, and taking out Seventh Sister there with hits. Like, being able to attack under protection in this team is really, really valuable. Like I said, I would not try this in GAC if Third Sister / Reva has got her Omicrons, because that's going to put Death Mark out, and I'm pretty sure that Death Mark will tear through you very, very quickly. So there we go, just slowly chewing through Third Sister. Eventually he does chew through her. She's got 3 lives, she's got a lot of defense, she's got a lot of survivability. We're only doing 22k because we don't have Fennec alive at this point. Fennec is not able to pass those additional stacks of offense from Loyal Hands, not able to get things like Death Mark out. Next up, I want to show you some footage using the Dr. Aphra focused Datacron. This one's really, really cool, and I won't pretend and say like this is something new or groundbreaking, because Aphra has already had a chance to sort of try and take out things like Jabba the Hutt, but it's just nice to have this as a really reliable counter right now. So what's the level 3? The level 3 lets Kasantan actually count all of his allies as Hutt Cartel, which means he's going to pre-taunt. He's going to gain all of those bonuses as if he's under a Jabba the Hutt lead. It's actually really useful, and it remains to be seen whether or not we'll be able to pinch Santi from Jabba the Hutt, because nobody's going to be setting Jabba the Hutt on defense anymore, not with this thing floating around. If they've got it, Jabba the Hutt is a liability on defense right now. So maybe we can actually take Santi eventually. I don't think we'll use that for 3s. The level 6 essentially lets scoundrels ignore taunts to target a debuffed enemy, which is really, really cool, because it means when you go up against a thing like Jabba the Hutt, you can just ignore their enemy Santi, target down priority units like Bausch, for example. The level 9 gives a bonus to 000. Whilst BT1 is active, 000 is immune to both daze and stun, and whenever 000 damages a target-locked enemy, he gains protection up of 100%, stacking for 2 turns, and 50% turn meter. He also inflicts protection disruption for 2 turns, which cannot be resisted. Pretty useful. The level 12 is a bonus flat bonus for Darkside characters. The first time each Darkside ally reaches 80, 70, or 50% health, you inflict doubt on a random enemy that doesn't have it for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Doubt is great. Doubt prevents buffs, prevents turn meter gains. Really, really solid debuff there. The final one, the level 15, is where all the flavor is. Dr. Aphra cannot be targeted by enemies if there are active Darkside droid allies. This is huge. The big thing that is a letdown for Aphra is if she just gets focused at the start. If you take out Aphra at the start, game over, GG, we're done. You know what I'm saying? With this focused Datacron, you can't even hit her if she's got Darkside enemies, allies, unless you hit her with an AoE, right? You just can't target her. She also will now revive all Darkside Scoundrel allies when she uses her first special. Normally, it's just the Darkside droids. Now it's just all Scoundrels. And also, her, Santi, Darth Vader, and Darkside droids are immune to thermal detonators. That's kind of like the final nail in the coffin versus Jabba. Don't take anything from thermal detonators. It's huge. Let's show you some footage I recorded earlier. So here we go. The great thing about this, we start off with the cooldown increase. They've obviously got a Gritcron. They've all got that doubt right now. Isn't that wonderful? So we're able to ignore Santi, go straight after Bausch Leia. Bausch is going to throw out a couple of thermals. I'm going to throw some attacks in her. And here comes the big burning from BT1. Masses of damage. A basic onto Leia, and she's gone. 25 seconds into the battle, there is no longer a Bausch on the enemy team, and we are all looking absolutely pretty. Basic there, I'm relatively certain we could probably even do this with just BT1 and 000, not even using people like B2 and Vader, but realistically speaking, those characters are not massively useful elsewhere. So this is just, it's absolutely a joke how easy this is to take out Jabba the Hutt teams with this setup now. It is completely like brainless. You could probably just go in and hit full auto and win at this point. So Jabba is definitely not going to be a defensive team, I don't think, if anybody is running this Dr. Aphra focused Datacron. Really cool Datacron. Very happy to see this one in the game right now. Getting a lot of fun out of this one in Squad Arena at the moment. Now Santi is still pretty tanky and he's Relic 5, but we're just waiting for that turn with BT1. BT1 is just an absolute menace, isn't he? And my BT1 is only Relic 5, so's my 000, and so's my Aphra actually. I don't have crazy levels of investments in these guys. It's just the Datacron is that powerful. So Santi's revived and I've just left it on full auto at this point. I don't see there being any issues with me taking out Jabba the Hutt, and just slowly. Come on, let's see where we go. Good damage. This is the thing. Most of the damage is kind of relegated to BT1, just, using that basic ability. He does do solid damage, but sometimes you wish there was just a little bit of extra juice in that squeeze. Don't forget, this is also Squad Arena, so absolutely no Omicrons are active right now. I don't have the 000 or BT1 Omicrons. They have been reduced, so I might get them by Jabba, by Santi. but I don't think they're worth it at this point. And the last Datacron that I want to take a look at here is not a focus Datacron, it's just in the new set over here, and it is for Mon Mothma. This thing is good at taking out Leia teams, it always has been. Very, very useful. So we've got a level 3 here, 15% max health and protection is what I really do recommend for this Datacron. This is going to give you the survivability. The only thing that can really mess this up is if the enemy Leia just gets enough turn meter and enough damage to take out 1 or 2 of your allies before you can get the ball rolling. If that happens, it's kind of dead in the water. So trying to get this extra bulk, super important. Again, extra health, very important. I've got some pretty rubbish stats on the 6 and 7 over here, crit chance and tenacity. That's not so good. You're better looking for more health or more armor penetration or that sort of thing to help drive through the damage. The level 6, this is imperative. You need this level 6. Whenever a rebel fighter ally grants a buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% turn meter. Alright, so we are looking at turn meter looping here, guys. That's what we're looking for. Looking to try and get as much turn meter generated so the enemy can't take any turns, basically. And then the level 9 is Mon Mothma's. Whenever she uses a basic ability on her turn, all other allies are going to gain 25% turn meter. This is really, really good because this helps feed that turn meter gain, right? Okay, let's check out the footage. So going up first and foremost against an ADRAD with a Jinn setup here using that Datacron over there, a Relic 9 over here on Leia Organa. We do immediately lose our POW. I throw out the big AoE, and honestly, all you really have to do is if you survive at the start, target Leia Organa, hit full auto, and just sit back and wait. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. I get the revive off here with POW at the start. It's just about going full auto at this point and just leaving it to your allies. Don't know why I was playing it manually here. Really don't have to. As you can see, when we use that basic, there we go, gone full auto here. When we use that basic on Mon Mothma's turn, she's giving 25% turn meter to all her allies. Super, super valuable. And look at how much damage we're throwing into Leia Organa right now. We're just taking turns after turns after turns after turns. Now, I do believe they eventually do interrupt us. Very important for us to have this right setup, by the way. I probably should have gone over the team comp. We need Luthen, Kyle Katarn, POW, and I'm using Hoth Rebel Scout, sorry, because on the basic, passing or has a chance to pass additional turn meter over here. We did unfortunately lose them, so we've got to wait until we get that revive back up. Hopefully that happens soon, and we'll just keep on chewing through that Leia Organa. Do not, in my opinion, target anybody apart from Leia. You will easily take out the ads, but all you're going to do there is supercharge the amount of mastery that Leia has and give her a massive opportunity to gain an ultimate. And that ultimate will finish off your team. You do not want to do that. So just focus on Leia until you can defeat her, and then start thinking about the ads. Going after characters like Drogon, very, very important. He's got masses of damage. In this instance, I'm not too worried about characters like Jinn and Adrad, even though they can revive. Typically, once you've gotten rid of Leia, and especially if you've gotten rid of Drogon, you're not going to be having too many issues with the rest of the team. You should be able to take them out before they've even done anything. If you are concerned, though, take out the Adrad, then take out the Jinn over there so she can't potentially get that revive. But this is really cool. It takes a little bit of time. Obviously, better modding would be better. I'm using pretty trash tier modding at this point. This is a pretty standard layer, I would say, having an Adrad in there. Adrad Jinn with, you know, R2 and Drogon is a pretty standard layer, but this does also work against the Toxic Layer comp. So let's check that out. So if you don't know, the Toxic Layer comp is Han and Chewie with Leia, okay? So they get a lot of initial damage burst because Han obviously shoots first, but if you survive that opener, once again, very important to have that level 3 with the 15% additional max health and protection. Make yourself chunky. Unfortunately, my video here does cut off because it crashed, but I did start recording again. As you can see from here, let's just go to the second part. I paused it and we continue a minute later. Basically had to restart my OBS after it crashed when it was mid-recording. Bit of a pain, but there we go. Sorry. So yeah, they've got good initial damage output, but if you can survive that with that 15% additional max health and protection, make yourself thicker than the side of a barn. That's what you really want to have. And we're just focusing down on Leia. She's gone very, very quickly. 3 minutes left on the clock. Don't forget, we actually paused for a minute because I had to reboot everything. And we're still doing fine. Still doing fine. Take out Chewie after you've taken out Leia because he's passing guard to 2 characters. That means you can't crit them and all this sort of business. So take them out, then go after Han. Whoever you can take out at this point is always going to be a Brucey bonus. Go away, little pop-up thing. So I'm taking out R2, but I probably should have really gone for Drogon. Now, I'm super, super pleased with the performance of this. This is really, really reliable so far. It'll be great for territory wars. we'll be able to have in GAC. You'll have Luthen's Omicrons if you've got them. But that's going to about do it for this brief overview of just a couple of the Datacrons in the new set. Focus Datacrons are looking absolutely fire. I do want to test out a few of the others. The Phoenix one does look pretty good, and to be honest, the Mission one looks pretty good for 3v3 with Zalbar's Omicron. So might see if I can get that up and running in the next couple of days. Awesome. Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you got any Datacrons that you are particularly impressed with? I want to see the footage. Send it to me over on Discord and I'll take a look. Absolutely phenomenal. I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.